When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people in America lives with a mental illness? Do you have the communication skills to help out if one is in a crisis? What if it's your best friend? Maybe your son or daughter? Well, crisis intervention isn't new. The book Crisis Intervention 101 is. It's easy to read, include links to 2 videos, and it's under $10. Get your copy of Crisis Intervention 101 today on Amazon.com, because we all need help in a crisis.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
Stuck in a boring, low-paid job? By 2017, there will be a shortage of 2 million cybersecurity jobs worldwide. If you have a technical background but don't have a computer certification, you're being drastically underpaid. In months, you could be qualified for a new job in information technology, making real money with real job security. A new career is just a few clicks away at thecodeoflearning.com.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Flying all over the place, flying all over the country, flying all over the globe, playing golf and raising money for his Democratic cohorts. The federal debt held by the public has doubled. Yeah, it doubled. And this is from CNSnews.com. 107% rise. Federal debt held by public has more than doubled under Obama, up $57,400 per household. The portion of the federal government's debt that is held by the public, as opposed to the portion that is borrowed out of government trust funds, such as Social Security and Medicare trust funds, has more than doubled during President Obama's time in office. Less than 7 years so far. Now, since Obama's inauguration, the Treasury has increased the federal government's debt held by the public by some $6.7 trillion, or about $57,400 for each household in the United States. Now, when Obama took office on January 20th, 2009, the total debt of the federal government was just a tad over $10.6 trillion. But the Treasury divides this total of debt into two main components: debt held by the public and intragovernmental debt. Now, debt held by the public represents federal debt issued by Treasury and held by investors outside of the federal government, including individuals, corporations, state or local governments, Federal Reserve, foreign governments, blah, blah, blah. The majority of debt held by the public consists of a marketable Treasury securities such as bills, notes, bonds, floating note rates, and Treasury inflation-protected securities that are sold through auctions and can be resold by whoever owns them, which, hedge fund owners. Hedge fund people, they're just evil. Well, hedge fund people are buying our debt. That are sold through auctions and can be resold by whomever owns them. Treasury also issues smaller amounts of non-marketable securities such as savings securities and state and local government series securities, blah, blah, blah. Intergovernmental debt holdings represent federal debt owned by Treasury to federal government accounts, primarily federal trust funds such as Social Security and Medicare, that typically have an obligation to invest in federal securities their excess annual receipts, including interest earnings, over disbursements. So, by the way, did you know that our government has an obligation to empty the Social Security Trust Fund every year? Did you know that? Did you know that the obligation? If it's an obligation, that must mean it's a law. Did you know that it's the federal government's obligation to put IOUs into the Social Security and Medicare Trust Fund? Did you know that? I didn't know that. That's the first I've ever heard that. Folks, let me explain that to you a little bit. An obligation means that somehow, somewhere in the code, in the law, it is written that the money just can't sit there. And we have all these people talking about, well, if we never touched Social Security Trust Fund, the money would be there. Well, evidently, it was never intended to be left there because they have an obligation not to leave it there. An obligation means it's probably the law. So this whole I have told you people over and over, and I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times again, don't doubt me. This is all about just sucking you dry. It's not about taking care of you. It's about government elitists being able to do whatever the hell they want, living however the hell they want, on whosever dime they want, without taking anything out of their own damn pockets. And as I've said time and time again, notice how the government always says that you and I have to do with less. So they're going to have to raise taxes, taking more money out of our pocket. Whether or not we get a raise to try to offset that is irrelevant to them. Because the government needs money. The government can't do with less. So you're going to have to do with less. Okay, is what the American people usually say. And then we run around wondering, well, why isn't there any money in the Social Security Trust Fund? Why isn't there any money here? Why isn't there any money there? Because they're under no obligation to keep it. In fact, as this report shows, they're obligated not to leave the money there. So this whole notion that we need to fix Social Security by filling up the trust fund again and leaving it alone, that's a lie. They're obligated not to leave money in there. They're obligated to take IOUs. An obligation, really, in legal terms, means it's the law. And in order for it to be the law, somebody had to know what they were doing when they wrote it and then pushed to get it passed. So you can't tell, well, our government really didn't know. It's kind of like Obamacare. Nobody really knew that was going to happen. Oh, bullshit. Like Nancy Pelosi. Oh, we have to pass the law in order to find out what's in it. Oh, bullshit. She knew exactly what was in it. She knew exactly what it was going to mean. Point is that if she told you that even those who were in support of it, many of them would have said, oh, hell no. We ain't doing that. That's why they didn't tell you a damn thing. Now, unlike debt held by the public, intergovernmental, this is the General Accounting Office, GAO, says this, intergovernmental debt holdings are not shown as balances on the federal government's consolidated financial statements because they represent loans from one part of the federal government to the other. When Obama took office in January of 2009, $4,300,000 was intragovernmental debt. $6.3 trillion was debt held by the public. Now, again, the public means you and me when we buy, bonds and things like that, and corporations loan the government money. They take securities, and foreign governments buy our debt. They buy bonds and securities and things like that from the Treasury and the Fed, and that's how they finance our debt. That's who our government owes. Now, the misnomer is that the intergovernmental debt is also BS. That's also, in order, I know that they're saying, well, that's not public debt. No, that's also BS because the government is we the people. The government doesn't have any money until it taxes we the people. So we own all of that debt because at some point it's got to be paid back because it's got to get paid out. Look, what's in $110 trillion in unfunded liability? You know what that means? That means over the next 100 years or so, not even, this country has got to pay over $100 trillion to people because of Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, Obamacare now added in there. We don't have the money. And then you start tossing on debt, other debt. That's not even including, that's just the promises as we currently are that have to be paid in the future, the near future. As in next year through the year 2050 or whatever. It's going to have to be paid on top of the debt. I know, and some people are thinking, oh my God, we just might as well just call it bankrupt and let the whole country just go to hell and just split up and just, I don't know, we should do like that movie with Chris Christopherson, America with a K. Oh my God, we're just so screwed. No, not necessarily. Just calm down. Calm down, because I haven't told you to panic yet. So if I haven't told you to panic, then it's not time to panic. We still got a chance to turn this thing around, by the way. We really do. I want you to dream with me for a second. Imagine a government that lives within its means. Imagine a government that shrinks itself back to its constitutional duties. Imagine a government that pays off the debt so it's not paying all this interest anymore. Imagine a government that is fiscally responsible. Can you imagine how low the tax rate would be in this country? Can you imagine all that you would get to spend or invest your money on or in? Can you imagine being able to send your kids to all but maybe the most elite schools and colleges in the country and being able to pay for them easily every time the tuition bill came? Because you were earning so much money